Hello and welcome, dear students, to this lecture. Today we have some new lesson which is connected with the supporting sentences. But before we start, it is very important to check what we studied in our previous uh, session. Okay, we talked in our last lectures about the paragraph structure, and we said that any paragraph should include mainly the topic sentence first, and then the body sentences, and then finally the concluding sentence. Any topic sentence should include the topic, okay, the topic. So any topic sentence should include the topic and the controlling idea or even the main idea of the whole paragraph, okay. The second part is body sentences, and it'll include the supporting sentences and detailed sentences. In our last session, we talked about supporting sentences, okay, and we said that supporting sentences explain or even answers the questions that found in the main idea of the topic sentence. And we put it in forms of what? Of different answers. Each answer include what? Supporting idea. Today we're going to talk about details in the supporting sentences or the details in the body sentences. In our next lecture, inshallah, we can talk about what? The concluding sentence. So the title of our lecture of today is Supporting Detailed Sentences or Details in the Paragraph. So for the contents of this lecture, okay, we have some different points. We'll start with some introduction, and then we'll start talking about details in paragraphs. And we'll answer the question of why are details important in the paragraph. And the final point that we'll cover about a note on formality. Okay, so it's connected with writing. So here we have some points, okay, which are connected with the paragraph itself. Okay, here let's start first with reminding you with the paragraph that we covered in our last lecture. My hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. So this is the topic sentence of the paragraph, of the whole paragraph. This is the topic sentence which is in red. This topic sentence includes the what? The topic, which is hometown, and then the second part includes the controlling idea, yes, or several amazing natural features. So we can explain it more, okay, in our next slide. Let's read it, okay. So my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. First, it is noted for the Wheaton River, which is very wide and beautiful. Also on the other side of the town is Wheaton Hill, which is unusual because it is very steep. The third amazing feature is the big old tree. So this is our paragraph that we studied on our previous lectures. Okay, it's very important to think of it many times in order to help us even to write some similar, yes, some similar paragraph, okay, about our hometown. Okay, so here we can change only the name of the hometown, or we can use some similar ideas, okay, some similar supporting ideas. Uh, the short paragraph above is fairly complete paragraph, as you see, but it lacks details. Okay, when you say it's complete, that means it includes some complete sentences which talk about one main idea. Okay, but and here we can say more. Okay, about this point. Okay, the sentences. You remember the sentences started in capital letter. Okay, and ends in what? Full stop. And we talk about one main topic. Okay, so we think of the form. Okay, we have some complete ideas here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have many sentences which include complete idea, and they have the same form of the sentence, start with capital letter and ends in what? Full stop. Good. But these sentences, or let's say this paragraph, lacks, or yes, this paragraph lacks what? Details. So when we say lacks details, that means it needs more details. For example, here when you say, uh, yes, uh, the river, okay, is very wide and beautiful, or even Wetton Hill, which is unusual because it is very steep. Okay, we have some information, but we need more explanation, okay, or more details, okay, for these points. When we think of the sentences here, we can think of the parts of the paragraph. First, we have the topic sentence, which is my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features, and this is the topic. And it includes also this topic sentence beside the topic, the controlling idea, the several amazing natural features that made his hometown, okay, famous. Okay, so we said as readers we need to know more about these features. So we'll ask ourselves when we hear this sentence, my hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. We'll say, what are these features that make your hometown famous, or why your hometown is famous place? Because of the amazing natural features. So what are the amazing natural features? So here he present them, or present this, the answers in forms of what? Of supporting ideas. So we have 1, 2, and 3. Okay. He said that the first supporting idea to that answers a question of the main idea, okay, or of the topic sentence. What are these features? What are the amazing natural features that make his hometown famous? The first one is the river. So the river is the first supporting idea. The second idea is what? Wetton Hill, the hill. Okay, there is some hill. The third one is a big old tree. Okay, this is the third supporting idea. Okay, he used these three ideas, okay, or supporting ideas, in form of what? Of sentences or supporting sentences. So he said that for the river, or Wetton River, first it is noted for the Wetton River. So he will think of the first reasons that make the hometown what? Famous, okay, the first natural feature that it is noted for the Wetton River. Okay, the second one about the Wetton Hill, and he links or linked this point, okay, with what? With the hometown. He said also on the other side of the town is Wetton Hill, okay, and then he talked more about what? The big old tree. In complete sentence, he said that the third amazing feature is the big tree, or the big old tree. So here he used the supporting ideas in complete, or in form of complete sentences, or complete supporting sentences. So here he built up first the topic sentence, which include the topic and the controlling idea. Then he expects the expect what? Expect the question, okay, that will come to the mind of the readers, and he made answers for it, yes, which included in these three supporting ideas, and he put them in forms of complete sentences, which known as supporting sentences. So we have three supporting sentences, include three supporting ideas. Good. Okay. So what about details in paragraphs? You should include enough details in your paragraphs to help your reader to understand exactly what you are writing about. So when we include enough details, we'll help our readers to understand exactly what we are writing about. Okay, so it starts with what? With a good topic sentence and making some explanation or details, okay, for the point. In this part also, we can talk in the paragraph about Wetton, or Wetton town, okay, three natural landmarks are mentioned, as we saw, which are the river and the hill and the old big tree. But we do not know very much about them. So we need more details about these natural landmarks, okay, that make his hometown famous. For example, we could add sentence or two about Wetton River concerning how wide it is or why it is beautiful. So we can add more sentences, okay, maybe one or two, okay, a sentence, one or even two about the river, okay, which concerning with how wide it is and why it is beautiful. So here let's consider the revision and know the details in bold, okay, in the next paragraph, okay, or the paragraph below. Here, this is topic sentence. My hometown is famous for several amazing natural features. First, it is noted for the Wetton River, which is very wide and beautiful, okay. The new point, okay, which tells about why, okay, why is it beautiful and why it is wide, okay, or how it is wide, okay. We can say on either side of this river, which is 175 feet wide, are many willow trees which have long branches that can move gracefully in the wind. In autumn, the leaves of these trees fall and cover the river banks like golden snow. So here we have wonderful scene, okay. He add more details about what? About the Wetton River. He said that one of the details that included here about what? How wide it is, 175 feet wide. This is the first point, okay, first details, okay, the first of the details that mentioned in this part, okay, of this supporting sentence. There are many willow trees, also the willow trees, okay. So also he described the willow trees and he said that have what? Have long branches, okay, that can move gracefully in the wind. And also he talked about, yes, some season, okay, in autumn, the leaves of these trees can cover the river banks like golden snow. So he will see it as golden snow. Okay, so this is the first supporting sentence with what? With the details, with the details. So here the details written in red, okay? Also on the other side of the town is Wetton Hill, which is unusual because it is very steep. So here he's talking about what? He's talking about the hill, okay? And he said that it is unusual because it is very steep. So we can think of this point, okay? Why it is what? Why it is strange, okay? Or why it is, or why it is one of the amazing features or amazing natural features, okay? He mentioned unusual and steep, okay? So even it is steep, he said that, even it is steep, climbing this hill is not dangerous. Why? Because there are some firm rocks along the sides that can be used as stairs. You know, you can go one by one, okay, on these stairs, okay, you can go up, okay, one by one, okay. So here we think of these rocks or firm rocks used as what? Stairs. And it is unusual and very steep, but these rocks, okay, these firm rocks can help, okay, or can help, yes, can help in what? In reaching the highest points of this what? Hill. There are no trees around this hill, okay. So he described the hill. There is no trees around this hill. So it stands clearly against the sky and can be seen from many miles away. You can see it from some, okay, miles, okay, or many miles away. So this is also the supporting sentence, or sorry, the detailed sentence, okay, about what? About Wetton Hill. So he starts with mentioning the supporting idea, or the second supporting idea, in form of sentence, complete sentence. Then he adds details, okay, about this what? Hill, okay, about this hill. So he used the first sentence and the second sentence. So we have two sentences here talking about what? About Wetton Hill, or even supporting sentence of Wetton Hill. The third amazing feature is the big old tree, okay. So this is why this tree described as one of the amazing feature of this area, or of the town of what? Of Wetton. Here we can say this tree, as details, this tree stands 200 feet tall. So we think of 200 feet tall, okay, very tall, okay, as you see, and is probably about 600 years old, okay, and about 600 years old. So we think of the age, okay, of the tree, okay, make it also as what? One of the amazing features, and also the tall, okay, of the tree also play a role, okay, in making what? Amazing feature for what? For the hometown. So here, as you see, we have many sentences. Each group, okay, explain one of the supporting sentences, or one of the supporting ideas that mentioned in the supporting sentence, okay. And here we have many details, okay, or many detailed sentences. So now the supporting details became supporting detailed sentences. We have the first supporting detailed sentences, and here we have the second supporting detailed sentence, and this the last one is a third what? Supporting detailed sentences. Good. We could also add more details to the paragraph to describe the third natural feature of the area, okay, which include the big old tree. So you can see, or as we saw, okay, in the previous part, okay, we filled up one sentence, and you can talk more about this one, okay. Now let's move to the question, why are details important? in the paragraph. Why are details important in the paragraph? Why are details important in the paragraphs? Okay, here we can say without details, your paragraph would not be very interesting. And when we said the three parts of the paragraph are important to be studied in this way, here we have the topic sentence and concluding sentence. One come first and one come at the end. They are as a sandwich, as a piece of bread, okay, as a hamburger sandwich, okay. Two parts, okay, up and down, okay, or even above and below, okay, the sandwich, okay. So they are used as covering for what? For the important things that known as what? Supporting things, okay. Like what? Hamburger, salad, egg, and cheese. They are between the topic and the concluding sentence, between what? The two pieces of bread, okay. So they are together make delicious food, okay. So we think of what? Of this point here, the supporting detailed sentences are very important, and they would make or would make the paragraph, they will make the paragraph very interesting, okay. So without supporting details, your paragraph would not be very interesting. Now let's move to some point about formality of writing, okay. Formal writing. In academic writing, we should think of some type of points, okay, that help us, okay, when we write academic writing, academic paragraph, something. In the structure academic, or the structure of the academic paragraphs writing, there are certain kinds of expressions are not allowed. So here we have some expressions that are not allowed in academic writing. What are they? Informal essays or paragraphs. We'll talk later about essay, but here what we're mentioning, yes, essay as group of paragraphs, okay, many paragraphs, not just one. Informal essays or paragraphs, you should not use contractions. Don't use summary of words, okay, contractions, okay. You will think of some special forms, such as don't or aren't. Don't or aren't. Don't use don't and don't use aren't. But you should write out the words in full. You should write the words in full. So instead of saying don't, say do not. Instead of saying don't, say do not. And also instead of saying aren't, this way, write it as are not. Write the words in full, okay, in full, okay? Also, informal essays or paragraphs, you should avoid the first and second person, okay? So don't say I. When you say first, I, the first person pronoun, I, and don't use the second person pronoun, you, okay? So think of the subjective pronouns, okay? That is, don't use the pronouns I or you. It is not preferred to use the pronoun I and you when you write, okay, a paragraph or an essay. The pronouns we and us are sometimes used in formal essays in some major fields. So we would think sometimes, or we can use sometimes, okay, we and us. It's possible, okay, to use we and us, but don't use I and don't use you, okay? It is safer simply to use the third person pronouns like he, she, or it. So here it's possible, okay, to use the third person pronouns, and here when we say third person pronouns, it means he, she, and it, okay. So the first, as you remember, the first person pronoun is I, the second person pronoun is you, and the third person pronoun are he, she, and it. Okay, here there is a table that include the forms which are too informal, that we should not use, okay, and there is also the acceptable words, okay. So don't say or don't write don't in this way, write it in full, do not. Don't write doesn't in this way, write it in full as does not. Don't write aren't in this way, but write it as are not. Don't write weren't in this way and write it as were not. Can't, don't write it in this way, write it in full as cannot. Couldn't, don't write it in this way, write it as could not in full. And the last one, won't, don't write it in this way and write it as will plus not, okay, in full, as you see. So contractions are not accepted, yes, in academic writing, and is accepted, yes, to write the full or complete form, okay, without missing letters or something. So thank you for joining my lecture for today, and inshallah our next lesson will be about concluding sentence. So till that time, okay, so see you inshallah, and have good time and goodbye.